Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Douglas Muir, and I am the CEO and founder of the Family Business Fund. I've been getting a lot of phone calls from my friends from around the country that would like to invest in the Family Business Fund. But you have to be an accredited investor in order to do so. So let's just talk about what an accredited investor is. And I'm going to be reading some stuff off the government website. An accredited investor are those individuals classified by the Securities and Exchange Commission as qualified to invest in complex or sophisticated types of securities. So what does that mean? So you can have an Ameritrade, a TD Ameritrade account right now, and you can go on, you can just start trading on the NASDAQ, you can go start trading on the New York Stock Exchange, and you don't need to be an accredited investor. What they're talking about in complicated non-securities is something like what I do, and it's not really that complicated, but they believe that if you reach the accredited investor criteria, which is this. To become an accredited investor, the criteria must meet one of three. The yearly income must be $200,000 a year. So that means you must make $200,000 a year for the past 2 years. Or you and your wife or husband together jointly make $300,000 a year. Or you are worth $1 million, not including your primary residence. And then in August 2020, the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, added on another one. And the other thing that they added on is if you work in the financial industry, which means you're a registered broker, or if you're an investment advisor and you don't make $200,000 or $300,000, you could still be an accredited investor. If you hit that criteria, you are allowed to invest in these complicated, as they say, types of investments. Now, the Family Business Fund is, are you ready for this? An SEC Reg D 506C fund. And what does that mean? That means we can only accept accredited investors' money. When I designed the fund, I wanted to just go after the accredited investor because the type of filings that I have to do, yearly filings, is a lot less than going after the non-accredited investors. So I'm sad to say a lot of my friends are not able to invest in the Family Business Fund. And that's because they are not accredited investors. But accredited investors are allowed to buy and sell unregistered, as the Family Business Fund is, securities, if you will. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of being an accredited investor? Well, first let's find out, can you become an accredited investor? You can, if your pay is $200,000 a year for the past 2 years, $300,000 with your wife or husband, or you're worth $1 million. Yes, you can, right? But the Securities and Exchange Commission does not have real applications, certifications, or guidelines for you. So for an example, when you fill out your private placement memorandum to become a part of the Family Business Fund, we have a section if you're an accredited investor. So if you say you're an accredited investor, then you are an accredited investor. And that's just the way it works. If you get audited and they find out you're not, well, you're going to get in trouble, right? Or you may need to leave the fund. But we have a form that you will swear to that you are an accredited investor. So once you are an accredited investor, let's look at the advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are you have access to a lot more investing, right? So you can invest in the Family Business Fund. You can invest in REITs, real estate investment trusts, right? You can invest in these life insurance policies that they have out there. You can invest in a lot of high fixed income types of investments if you're an accredited investor. The next thing would be you get high returns, right? My portfolio right now as an accredited investor is 70% alternative investments and about 20% stocks and bonds and about 10% cash. My 70% alternative investments is making over 16.5%. Yes, you heard me right. Even though the market is negative 34.7%, the stock markets, I'm making 16.5. And how do I do that? I do it by just getting a fixed rate of return and I'm hitting singles and doubles all day. Please email me. I'll tell you what's in my portfolio and how I do it. I'm doing singles and doubles all day long. So by being an accredited investor, I get higher returns. I'm not hitting home runs. 16.5% is pretty darn good. But I'm also increasing my diversification. So by increasing my diversification, I can, as an accredited investor, invest in hedge funds, private equity, and venture capital. Okay? And so that's what accredited investors are able to do. Now, what are the disadvantages? It's higher risk. But you know what, folks? When I was on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange watching these big boards go across, and I'd get a tweet, and I'd watch the volatility index go up, and I'd watch stocks start going down just on one tweet. So how secure is that? I ask you, right? Alternative investments for me has been a solid investment that most financial advisors either don't know about or will not tell you about because they think it's too risky. I have not found that out to be. That's just me, right? You have a minimum investment amount. It could be $5,000, $10,000. With the Family Business Fund, the minimum amount to invest in to my fund is $20,000. So it could be high where you can get in and buy one stock on the New York Stock Exchange through E-Trade, right? You may have some performance fees with venture capital and hedge funds. We are a hedge fund that charges no fees. The money you put in is the money you get out. And we pay 15% on a yearly basis for the use of your money. And we only lock it down for 18 months. Right? Most alternative investments could be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. I'm in the least term that I'm in right now is 3 years. Right? And the Family Business Fund is only 18 months. And it could be a long time for you because you may need that money right away. And in the stock market, you can get out. You can just get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out. So that's really important about that. So let's just talk about the Family Business Fund right now. So the Family Business Fund has a pot of money. And that pot of money invests in an alternative asset. An alternative asset, as we talked about last week, is called merchant cash advances. And so what we do is we advance money between $5,000 and $50,000 to small businesses. 60% of all people working work for a small business. These people cannot go to banks. They don't desire to go to banks. They don't want to go to banks. We will fund them in under 24 hours. And they use this capital to help expand, to help move forward their business, right? So we have the Family Business Fund over here, and we take that money and we invest in small businesses for no longer than 6 months. And we pay 15% back. Can you imagine making that now? Give me a call at the number you're going to see or email me with your questions. My name is Douglas Muir. I'm the CEO and founder of the Family Business Fund, and we'll see you on the other side.